Batman number 7, written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo. We left off last issue with Batman breaking out of the Court of Owls labyrinth and seemingly dying underwater, whereas the Court of Owls went and woke up all of their talons to go do something. This issue picks up with a flashback to Batman's creation, where he's bleeding out in, I think it's year 1, and he sees a bat smash into the study where he's about to die, and he's like, yes, I will become a bat, and you know the rest. So in this, it has a narration saying how in the moment leading up to death, some cultures believe that you would see truths beyond yourself, but if you manage to come back from that moment of death, you would come back a changed man, a truly whatever. Point being is that we see that bat who crashed into the window actually managed to get back outside, and as it did, it was captured by an owl, which then just straight up ate it. So that's canon now. We get a young girl, or I'd say teenage girl, named Harper, who is using a car battery to wake up Batman, like defibrillator style. He shoots up. She's wearing a welder's mask, so he doesn't recognize her at first, but as soon as she takes off, she's like, oh, it's you. I thought I told you to stay away from me. And Harper's like, oh, okay, bye. So I guess we're supposed to know her at this point, but we don't. Like, I double-checked this. I did a lot of searching. We have not met her. It's just kind of an implied story that's already happened. Regardless, Batman gets up and starts trudging his way through the snow outside. And we see what the owls are doing, and we keep cutting back to them throughout the entire story, so I'll just tell you straight up now. They're just waking up all the talons. They're jamming them full of whatever serums they gotta do to bring them back. They're giving them all their weapons and such, and then at the very end of the issue, they point out the city and say, this is Batman. Take a look at Batman. He is your enemy. Now go and take Gotham. Scree, scree. That's it. So the Batman stuff is the more interesting, where Batman, he's struggling through the sewers again, trying to find a way, I guess, into the Batcave, or maybe it's just the nearest entry. He gets to a place where a dude with a shotgun saying, like, all right, identify yourself. And Batman is just like, it's me, Alfred. For God's sakes, it's me. And Alfred's freaked out. He's like, oh my God, you were gone for 2 weeks. We thought we found the hole that you made in the ice to like break yourself out, because clearly you didn't die at the end of the last issue, but we couldn't find your body and we thought someone else took you. He's like, yeah, no, someone else did take me, but regardless, let's get back into the cave. So they get into the cave, and Batman freaks out because in the cave is a Talon, but it actually turns out that it's the one that he killed in the previous issue, and the Court of Owls also just kind of threw it out in that same sort of area because he was of no use to them anymore. So Alfred's like, all right, look, you can deal with him later. Right now, let's get you patched up. He's like, no, put the Talon on the table. So Bruce starts running tests on the Talon, and at this point, Nightwing walks in, and he's like, hey, Bruce, Alfred said you wanted privacy, but it's clear that you are not okay. Who's this guy? And Bruce gives them a rundown that apparently all the Talons have this alloy called electrum in them, like down to their cellular level, which allows them to be essentially put to sleep and brought back whenever, so they are functionally immortal. And apparently they do this by like filling up a tooth with electrum, and that like seeps into their bloodstream or whatever. But he does some DNA tests and discovers that this guy, this particular Talon, his name is William Cobb, and he is Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson's great-grandfather. And Nightwing's like, oh, cool, and you weren't immediately going to tell me that? And he just starts unloading on Batman of like, oh man, you have no idea the week I've had over in my book, Nightwing, which very heavily ties in with this issue. But blah, 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 how dare you, you have no right, you got to feel something every once in a while. And then Batman just straight up backhands him and knocks out one of his teeth. And we see that the tooth is also got the Court of Owls sigil on it. Dick Grayson was going to be a Talon, because apparently the circus that he was raised in, they give Talons in training to the Court of Owls at a certain age, but because Dick Grayson got out by living with Bruce Wayne, he never had to. So That's a thing. And Bruce is just like, man, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I thought I knew Gotham. I thought I knew everything. I clearly know nothing. And Dick Grayson's like, yeah, I mean, you don't. But, like, that's not such a... The Court of Owls is not nigh omnipotent. They're just another bad guy. Go kick their ass. And then we end up on the final page of, scree, scree, all the Talons descend on Gotham. So next issue picks up with the crossover event of Night of the Owls, which hits up just a whole bunch of series, pretty much every Bat book that's going on. So we will see what goes on in that. As for this particular issue, it's the explaining issue. It's the issue where it says, like, oh, here's the reason why this happened. That dude who was killed back in issue 1, he was the dude that this Talon killed first, because he went to go see Dick Grayson, because Dick Grayson was originally going to be a Talon. Like, it's just tying up all the strings and being like, yep, see, we had a plan. We did this. And it's not bad, but because it's just so explaining, it's like, I get you're proud of your whole story, but, like, yeah. Like, the way I explained it, the Court of Owls stuff does kind of break it up. It does give it a little bit of tension. Just me putting all that into one section does make it sound a bit more of a huge expedition dump, but it does split it up itself. But I don't feel like it does it enough. I feel like it does suffer from just constantly being speech bubble after speech bubble after speech bubble of electrum, and how the ancient Greeks did things with coins on the eyes, and how the cold keeps them from regenerating, and how it's a chemical shock, and blah 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 blah. It's just so much of like, see, we really thought this through. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't doubt it. Did we really need this much put into it? So yeah, I don't know. It's a fine issue, and it does act as sort of like the lead-in to the event, but it's not great, I guess. It's definitely nothing compared to like the last 2 issues of this book, which I felt were very, very good quality. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7, just a solid 7. The art is mainly what does it, because I really do feel like Bruce is he's literally just a corpse standing there examining this other corpse, and like I can feel just how tired and fed up with all that he is, especially once Nightwing starts yelling at him. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying it, and I'm interested in what the event's going to be doing with Night of the Owls, but this particular issue left, I don't know, just a bland taste.